Today is Saturday, October 29th, 2016. Uh, we're heading into Halloween. And so today we will have a Hungry Ghost service, a ceremony for unsatisfied spirits. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that. I had planned to continue with the ox herding pictures. We're up to number 6. So let me read you just the poems because, and then we'll hold the commentary for next week. Uh, because, in a way, the ox herding pictures present the path of complete fulfillment and contentment. The poor beings in the ghostly realms do not know the contentment that's possible to them, do not experience the fulfillment that is their nature. As Hakuin's chant, which we just recited in praise of Zazen, the Zazen Wasan says, without water and ice, like water and ice, without water, no ice, outside us, no Buddhas. From the beginning, all beings are Buddha, which is why when we look at the wheel of life with the 6 realms of the devas, the gods, the warring spirits or titans, the animals, the humans, the hell dwellers, and the ghosts. We see a Buddha in each realm. This is our nature. And of course, we can take the 6 realms mythically, or we can take them psychologically. Neither counters the other. Light can be a particle. Light can be a wave. Reality can be psychological, or it can be mythic. There's not intrinsically a difference. But as we know, we can wander through the 6 realms in the course of a day. When we're consumed by anger, we're in hell realms. When we're completely fulfilled, everything's going our way. It's kind of divine in the God realms. As human beings, we know impermanence, and we do our best to help those around us as mature people. That's the human realm. Animal realm, well, we see animals every day, and sometimes, and when they're animals, they're doing great. But when we're animals, maybe not so good. Then there are the ghostly realms. The Titan realms are like politics. Those are warring titans. If you think that realm is a myth alone, take another look, please. And then the ghostly realms can never be satisfied. Food that looks nourishing, you with your own mind turn into flames and pus. You with your own envy and jealousies are unable to enjoy the very life you have. We know this realm. It's not so far away. And yet, mythically, Buddhist tradition says there are beings who are consigned by their own karma to live there. Really live there. It said that the pretas, hungry ghosts, have necks so thin they're like needles. You can't get enough food down them, but their bellies are distended with hunger. This is definitely a powerful image of unfulfilled life, always on the outside, so painful. And yet, in that realm, as we see, there's a nice Japanese painting reproduction up there. There's a Buddha. And through ceremonies and stuff, it's said, like offering hungry ghosts food and thirsty ghosts drink, as we do at formal meal periods, like in sesshin, and also through ceremony like today, food can become nourishing and drink nourishing. And we help those in ghostly realms, including ourselves, because, as we said, viewed psychologically, Each of these realms is our own nature, and each has the potential, the realization of original nature right there underneath it, which is why there's a Buddha appearing in every realm in the six realms of the Wheel of Life. This is the anti-fulfillment and contentment realm. So just to start, we're going to read a little bit of contentment and fulfillment, which is the sixth ox herding series, wonderful 12th century visual presentation of the complete path of the Bodhisattva, which is you and me, working our way through our own ghostliness, through our own anger, our own clinging to our wonderful states of when everything was working. And then we fall from that, and like we land in hell because what we had is gone, our wonderful sense of completion. So we go from God realm to hell realm, and then we become human beings again. On and on it goes. So, to come to our own nature, to live lives of contentment, not caught up by any of our own internal or external projections. Number 6, returning home on the back of the ox. Finally, after seeing footprints, after catching a glimpse, after long training of the ox, it's gentle and it follows us. Now, finally, we let the ox carry us. And we ride home. And everything we do, everything we say, everything we see. Well, this is a wonderful fulfillment. Now the struggle is over. Gain and loss have also disappeared into emptiness. The herdsman sings a simple woodsman's song and plays a country children's tune on his flute. He rides on the ox and looks up into the blue sky. When someone calls out to him, he does not turn round. If tugged by the sleeve, he will not stop. Poem number 1. Slowly and steadily, the herdsman rides home on the ox. In the spreading evening mist, his flute sounds far into the distance. Beat by beat and verse by verse, the boundless feeling of the herdsman rings out. Listening to this song, there is no need to say how things are with the herdsman. You can hear it. And that song needn't be anything artful. It can be simply the way one interacts with the world around one. There's a song there. The way one says good morning or good night. Boundless feeling. Emptiness is not so empty after all, is it? Poem 2. He points in the direction of the dike. There is home already. Even the wall, even the barrier. There's home already. Emerging from the mist and fog, he quietly plays the wooden flute. Suddenly the tune changes to the song of return. If one is capable of hearing this, one will no longer find Master Baya's pieces so beautiful. That is, one will no longer find Mozart or Bach or Beethoven, the most beautiful music in the world. There's a famous little Irish tale. It's an Irish koan called The Music of What Happens. Once, who was it, the great Irish mythic hero? What was his name? Rose, do you remember?
Not right now.
His son was Oisin. His grandson was Oscar. What was his name? My gosh. Finn. Yes. So he's with his men out in the woods, and he says, "What's the most beautiful music in the world?" And he turns to Oisin, his great son, great poet and warrior and lover, and says, "Oisin, what's the most beautiful music in the world?" Oisin says, "The singing of the lark in the topmost branch of the hedge." And Finn says, "Beautiful music, but not the most beautiful music in the world." He turns to his grandson, Oscar, who's a great warrior, and says, "Oscar, what's the most beautiful music in the world? And Oscar says, the ringing of a sword against a shield in battle. And Finn says, beautiful music, but not the most beautiful music in the world. Another says, no, the most beautiful music in the world is the laughter of a child. Finn says, beautiful music, but not the most beautiful. Another says, no, it's the sigh of a woman whose heart you've moved with love. And Finn says, beautiful music, but not the most beautiful music in the world. And they go on and on and on, each giving a very good answer. And to each, Finn says, beautiful music, but not the most beautiful music in the world. Finally, in frustration, they all turn to Finn, the great warrior, great leader, great magician, great poet, and say to Finn, all right then, chieftain, what's the most beautiful music in the world? And Finn says, the music of what happens. This is a true koan. How could that be? So many terrible things happen. If you close your eyes to that and go, no, it's all beautiful, you're completely off base. You're a fraud. You're a fool. And yet, how could it be? Do you mean go on and on and on you could go? He's speaking from a very lofty position, isn't he? If one is capable of hearing this, one will no longer find Master Baya's pieces so beautiful. Third poem. Sitting back to front on the ox, he comes home with a joyful heart. Back to front means you let the ox go wherever it's going to go. You no longer have to worry about it. It's always heading for the barn. It's always heading home. You don't have to do any steering. You just are with it completely. Sitting back to front on the ox, he comes home with a joyful heart, wearing a bamboo hat and a straw coat in the evening mist. Step by step, a cool breeze wafts gently. The ox does not waste a glance on the once so alluring grass. The ox does not waste a glance on the once so alluring grass. What used to draw us doesn't draw us anymore. What used to look like, that's the tastiest grass I've ever seen, we don't go running towards it anymore. A person who's had a full meal can no longer be tempted by food. If you've really seen your own nature and all the things we do to fill that big empty hole in ourselves, when we're like hungry ghosts, we don't need to do anymore. We've already had a full meal. We don't need to add little pieces. I think I'll buy this. I think I'll get that. A trip to wherever would be really what I need. There's no reason if you need a car not to get the car you want. No reason if you have the time and money not to travel to a place you'd love to see. But it's not done to fill that hole in yourself. The ox does not waste a glance on the once so alluring grass. So we'll stop here, have our little ceremony to offer nourishment to those stuck in hungry, ghostly realms. And being it's the time of Halloween in our culture, it seems an appropriate time to offer benefits, to not be scared of ghosts, but to realize their suffering and to do what we can to help them return to a human realm, to be whole people instead of needy, able to offer something to others. This is our nature. It's possible for all of us to mature into grown-up